What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live duel. Down the left side here we have Dragonlink. On the right side here we have Synchro. Now, Dragonlink is the deck that ended up winning up Worlds, so it's going to be showing up a little bit more now, I believe, before maybe the next ban list. Hopefully that's going to be very soon. I'd love for them to hit Kashtira. Maybe hit a little slap on the wrist on some other decks like Labyrinth. Banning some of those cards like EEV, as well as potentially hitting like I don't know if they're gonna hit like Magnum. I think that's a little bit of a harsh hit, but maybe like banning Striker Dragon. But at the same time, that just absolutely shut down like all the boot and stuff. I don't know. I really don't know how it's gonna go. I don't think that Striker Dragon necessarily needs a ban. And then we're gonna be seeing on the right side Synchron, a brand new deck. Chunk Speeder has been around for ages. This card has been always super powerful. But now being able to bring out Revolution Synchron coming out of Dune is just absolutely nutty. Opens up so many more combos. Now you have the Calamity Lock with the Crimson Dragon. And we also have the hand version of the deck, which, is super hard to interact with. And doesn't just lose to a single spell or Dark Ruler no more. Because you can't activate Dark Ruler no more if you have no cards in hand. But before we dive in, if you like, comment, subscribe, we're going to be on the road to 5K. Hopefully we're hitting that by the end of the year. We're going to be seeing that the Adventure Synchron deck is going to be starting off with an Adventure package here, going and activating the Temple, summoning out the token, and placing, or we're going to be actually searching for the right here. Yeah, I was going to say, we're going to activate right, and then it's going to be placing the Fateful as well as a token onto the field there. Kind of forgetting a step, but it's all good. And then we're going to be seeing them activate the effect here, searching for the monster and then discarding a card. There's lots of good discards in this. We're going to be discarding the Dark Ruler no more here. Then we're going to be able to activate the effect, searching for the Drago back. I wonder if we just didn't have a normal summon or another card that we want to really summon off of this. Or maybe like trying to play around, just passing on this. Wow, that's not the greatest. So I guess not having very much at all here. We're going to see them activate Chaos Space, dumping the Biru, and they're going to be able to search for a Dark here. Going for a Levianeer, okay. And they're going to hit him with the Droll. Maybe they already have the babies in hand. And passing on this, that's a little bit wild to me. Maybe having no Darks engraved, I don't know. We're going to be activating the tuning here. They're probably thinking that there's no way they're going to get OTK'd, so they probably just pass, wanting to like not waste their stuff. We're going to be seeing normal summon of Jet Synchron. Then we're going to be synchroing away for the Excel. Excel is going to be bringing back, and then we're going to be activating the Excel effect, going into the Stardust. They're being able to synchro away using the Jet Synchron and Stardust, or Jet Synchron and the token here. Going for the Junk Speeder. They're going to be seeing the Stardust effect activating here. Something with the 4 from the deck, going for the Illumination. And all these Synchrons are absolutely busted. They're only able to synchro away into a copy of Scrap Dragon. Activating the Illumination. And summon from the deck because we do control a Stardust. Going for the Trail here. Then we can synchro summon away here for a copy of the Crimson Dragon. And this will allow us to go into, or search, I guess, Clear World, which is going to allow us to do the Hand Rip. We're going to be going into a copy of the Gotems. And then Crimson Dragon is going to activate, targeting the effect, or targeting the Gotems. Summon out Trishula here. We're going to be putting 2 more counters. Then we're going to activate the Trish effect. Banishing the Chaos Space and hitting the Lubellion from their hand. Yeah, definitely can't activate Lubellion after getting drolled. You're activating the Illumination. Changing the level of the Trail here. Going into a copy of the Excel. Bringing back the Trail. Or putting the token, I guess. We're going to be seeing it go up to a 6. Can we end up going for the copy of the Spader and Omega, though? Going for the second Stardust. And then that's going to be able to synchro summon into a Barone here. Then we're going to activate the effect, tripping it off to summon itself out. We're going to attempt to chain the Solemn on this. Then we're going to activate to summon back out 2 monsters here, going for the trail as well as the copy of Trishula. Revolution Synchron is going to summon itself out by dumping one. Dumping, I think that was called by the grave. Then we're going to activate the Gotems here, trying to rip. Going to end up ripping the Levianeer here. Only having 2 cards left in the hand. Then we're going to summon out the Jet Synchron by discarding the Dark Ruler no more here. And we could go for a Despater here, yeah. Then we have the 10, so we can reborn out the copy of Gotems if we want to. But Despater is going to bring back the Stardust Synchron here, and they're going to go for a copy of Omega. Omega is going to activate its effects here. Banishing the Quick Launch. I mean, I guess they could have set that. They could have banished as well the Nib with the Solemn to go for like a copy of like Baron if they wanted to. And Satellite Warrior is going to activate its effects, and this is going to be game. Maybe, I mean, I know this is his first time playing, so I'm not going to say really like anything. Like, obviously people learn the deck, but it doesn't really matter. Like, if they would have set the Quick Launch, I mean, they could have activated it and summoned out Tracer, Sora, and here go for like a copy of like Despair wouldn't have done anything. It would have just summoned out the Nib if they wanted to. Or like use it as a negate. But like Baron as well is not like that crazy. Especially when you're going up against like, we would have probably seen it get negated with the Griffin Rider. So not the greatest hand. As well as like, you know, if they would have been able like using the Tracer and stuff like that, I guess they could have gone for a Seals line as well. But at that point you're going to be like down on hand advantage, and then like them ripping your hand and just going for game is just very easy. So it's hard to play against like a Synchron deck when you don't really know what they do. Like that's a lot of like the good rogue strategies. A lot of the time they end up getting like sweeping up some wins because your opponent just doesn't know any of what the cards do. But moving on into game 2 here, we're going to be seeing Dragonlink going first. Hopefully they don't get drolled, you know, it being a crazy card. We do see the Dark Rule in the hands of the Synchron player here. This is the same Synchron deck that we ended up seeing yesterday as a deck profile. So huge shoutouts to Alex for that. We're going to see them activate Chaos Space, pitching one of the Bystials here. And that will also allow them to dump the Dubellion on the Resolution. Or dumping the Regain. I guess that'll let them... They're going to search for white. I guess that's going to let them, when they do get their Lubellion, they'll be able to put the Beast on the field, then Regained will be set during, or will be put on the field during the end phase. We're going to be banishing Solemn for the light. Link away into Striker Dragon. It's going to be Chain Link 1 and 2. Searching for Boot as well as the Black Dragon here. Just something like so much free advantage, you know, getting those draws as well as we're going to be banishing the Dark. Here, yeah, you definitely Chaos Space. So you Chaos Space, you banish the Chaos Space, and you put back the light to the bottom of the deck, so you get that free advantage. And then you draw one. Then you can link away for a Romulus. And then you'll get black as well as the ROM search. It's always good to like teach players like different decks. Like obviously, like this is testing. It's just locals. We're not at no regionals, but we have a regionals coming up on the 19th, so there'll be a little bit more technical gameplay there. But we're going to be seeing them dump Apps Router, and here we're going to be searching for the Tracer there. But like having a Ravine for free is pretty much insane. They're going to activate Lubellion, discarding, searching for the Magnamut, and then we're going to activate the Boot, summon out the Tracer here. Then Tracer is going to go into Pisty. We can then activate the Magnamut if we want to. Yeah, banishing the Apps Router's fine. A Magnamut effect. Then you just tag out for Lubellion first. And then we're going to go Lubellion effect, put the Beast onto the field. No way he drops Nib here. I was going to say, that's dirty. Before the effect. Then we're going to be summoning up the Pisty, or Tracer, with the Pisty. Going into a Seals. Tracer effects can activate, pop. And we could have gone for a Savage instead, or a Borland instead of the Seals. Then we're going to be putting the Triple Burst onto the Borreload. It's just still like a fair board. You're either ending on Seals Borrel or you're ending on Borrel. And then Beast's going to be able to put the Regain onto the field. And then during the end phase, they'll be able to search with the Magnamut. They could also activate the effect here, banishing the Lubellion with the Druis Worm here. That's what I would probably do. I'd actually search for Baldrake instead and then activate it, putting it back to getting an additional draw. And having Beast live whenever I want to. We're going to see a Dark Ruler no more here. And then they're going to activate a Tuning. And they're going to search for the Stardust Synchron here. And the crazy thing about Regained is that when their opponent normal summons, they can summon out a copy of Magnamut. And that's going to be able to search during the end phase as well here. They're going to activate a Temple once again. It's going to search for them for right. And if they play it correctly, they definitely go right. Activate effect. And then we're going to be summoning out the Magnamut here. But they do have the Call by the Grave. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you definitely bystial that. Because you don't want your copy to be negated. And then they're going to be putting it to the bottom of the deck and then drawing a card off the Regained. And so still have Beast on the field here. They could also go right now Beast pop the Fateful. We're going to see them normal summon out the Revolution Synchron. Activate Fateful effect. And they're going to hit it with an Ash Blossom. Or they're not going to hit it with Ash Blossom. And they're going to activate the secondary effect search for the monster. They're going to hit it with Ash Blossom. Okay. So we do have a 7 right now. We could go into Ancient Fairy Dragon, which is what ABC is currently doing. I'm trying to see if anyone at locals will play that deck. Doesn't really look like it, but it's really cool. We're going to see Stardust Tribute to summon itself out. Then we're going to be also having we have the Trail in hand. Wow. Not the greatest. It's going to summon itself out though, and that's also going to be able to search us for the Illumination. Then we're going to activate the effect of Beast here. It's going to be popping, and then we're going to be activating the Druid Worm effect, popping the Trail. And then they're just going to scoop it up, realizing they do not have enough. Beast plus Bystials is absolutely crazy. I really do enjoy like Dragonlink as a deck. It's just absolutely nutty. I really like a lot of the decks this format. Like Branded, I love Branded, as you guys know. I love Unchained. Like Unchained is like my little secret pleasure. It's like super dirt cheap. Like the whole deck is just like all commons essentially, other than like some of your ultras and your engine spots. Dragonlink's a fun deck. I like Dark World, obviously, if no Droll. Just like a bunch of decks. Vanadium's a fun deck as well. I think Dragonlink is a little bit better than it. But like even the Synchron deck, it's just cool decks. And then Purely and Lab, I can't really talk about that. I don't like Purely. Feels bad. I'm not the biggest fan of trap decks personally, but that's just me, right? You know, I'm glad that there is a little bit of trap decks in the format, but the problem is when the trap deck is so good like that, it causes the problems of simply just like EV is the issue. It's not trap cards. I think maybe if they hit, I don't know, like Kuklok or hit Storvy Torvy maybe, just like hit the consistency a little bit of the deck would be fine, as well as like Kashtira. Kashtira is a good deck, but it's too good of a deck. You know, Unicorn and Fenrir and D-Shifter are just too good of a cards, as well as Arise Heart just being, you know, Trident macros. Like, who thought that was okay? But diving into the all-important Game 3 here, we're going to be seeing the Synchron deck going to be shooting. They can go first here. I don't think they get hit that hard by the bystials, to be honest. We do see a Reborn Tenyu, Illumination, Stardust, and Crossout, I think. Not looking like the best hand there. We're going to see the Illumination activate here. It's going to let them dump from the deck. I think Trail. Yeah, dumping the Trail here. And we're doing normal summon with the Reborn Tenyu here. Activating the effect, tripping it off, summoning out from the Stardust. And then Tenyu effect's going to activate there, which is going to be able to summon out, as well as Trail, summoning itself out. So not the greatest, but you know, having that Tenyu being able to reborn itself as a body. We're going to see the Illumination going to be banishing, and they're looking at like what can they do. And banish to decrease the level there. It looks like they do have a copy of Shooting Riser here, so they're going to be able to go for the Shooting Riser. And then Tenyu as well as Shooting Riser effect can activate here. And I know that if you send, like, I know he's playing Droll because of the fact that it can make it like a level 1, and then, like, it's able to play combos because you can dump Droll, make its level loosened by 1. But like this is a super scuffed combo here. I'm not even sure what they discarded there. It looks like they discarded a Druid Worm. So now it's a level 1. And then on the summon, they're going to cross out, or they're going to activate Nib. We do have the cross out for the Nib, so banishing the Nib there with the gold Nib. Disrespect. And then we're going to go for the Excel. And then Excel effect is going to activate here, as well as we're going to be activating the dumping the Jet Synchron here. And then we're going to go for the copy of Speeder. Speeder effect will activate, and you know we are going to get there. Going for the Assault, Revolution, Stardust, as well as the Jet. Thank goodness that Jet came off the ban list. We would have been in shambles without it. We're going to go for a A tier, going for the copy of, looks like they're thinking about going for the Excel Stardust. I'm glad they did correct the Nib. Like, Nib does stay in the hand there. Something with the other Jet Synchron. And then here, I guess, like, they can go for a Dispater line with the Assault. And, like, that can summon out one or the other. It doesn't really matter. You're probably summoning out what? Summoning out Nib, then linking away for a Crimson Dragon. I think I'm going away for a Crimson Dragon. I guess that's fair. That's going to let them activate a Clear New World, or a Synchro World, I should say. Clear New World is a Vista card. This is absolutely scuffed, but it is getting us there. I mean, we do have the Omega here we could go for. And we have Omega Dissipator. So that's 2 cards we can rip. Unless we were going to go for Scrap Dragon, or Crimson Dragon becomes Omega. Oh, we already activated the bystial, right? So we can just go Omega. We're actually going to go chain Crimson Dragon to go into Stardust. And then we can then link, or synchro those 2 away to go for the Barone. Then activate Omega here. Going to rip one of the random cards in the hand. And if it happens to be Nib, well, that's just an L. They hit the Sorenir, so now we know Sorenir Nib. And they simply set 1 pass on this. I mean, they do have Baron, which isn't too bad. And they do have, they will be able to put back with the bystial there. They're going to activate the Dragon Ravine. And we probably don't even negate this. It's going to be like a discard. They're going to probably discard the Nib. Discarding Router, okay. So I guess that's going to be able to go twice. And they're just going to negate with the Barone here. And then it's going to activate the effect of the Router. They're going to shuffle back the Sorenir to negate with the bystial. So leaving them essentially on Nib and 2 other cards. And we do have I do have a copy of Call by the Grave. So essentially, like, leaving them on 2 cards here to play around Nib. But I feel like I'd probably call by the Router. Unless they're worried about a bystial, but at that point you can just chain Dissipator to it. Simply going to be passing on this, and Omega's going to be coming back. They're going to just go Battle Phase, and they're going to Call by the Grave, the Router. Then you go Attack, and that's going to end up being game right there. Regained, and the Recharger won't do anything for them. They could have gone for like a Synchro 8, but that's not going to be enough. We are going to be seeing Synchron going to be taking the win here in Game 3. Both players not opening up the greatest hand. If you guys want to see any more videos like this, let me know in the comment section down below. We're on the road to 5K once again. Sorry, I mentioned that earlier in the video. But don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, as well as let me know what other decks you guys want to see in the comment section. Don't forget to stay safe. Peace.